Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time of day that you are tuning in and viewing me. I'm Lisa Akpiri, your hair doctor, and I just want to welcome you to the show and just to let you know that I'm pretty excited about something that's coming up. And we talked about it last week, but this week we're really close. And I just want to thank all of you because let me just tell you what I'm talking about. During Black History Month, I try to do lots of workshops and free things and things to give back, especially during Black History Month. I try to do it all year, but I try to show my community, my local community, my cyber community, my community at large. I try to show them that as an African American, I believe that I am supposed to use whatever God has blessed me with to give back. With that being said, one of the events I am sponsoring, I am offering, is a workshop called So You Want to Grow Natural, and you're invited. I'm going to be streaming live, and this is going to be this weekend. It's Saturday. It's terrible. I have so much going on, so I'm going to look at my calendar. And that Saturday, this Saturday, is going to be the 25th at 2 p.m. streaming live. Now, if you're looking at this video and you're saying, "Oh, that's gone. That time is gone," well, it's archived. You'll see it, and I'm going to get it up on YouTube, so it may already, be there. Like I said, if you're looking at it later, then I have it here for you, archived. But it's a workshop. It's called So You Want to Grow Natural. Now, who's invited? You're invited, my Earth Mamas, my natural beauties. But anyone who is thinking about thinking about getting away from their relaxer, thinking about transitioning, not really sure, or if they have a family member that they want to support in their effort to transition. Or second person invited, or group of people, will be people who are transitioning and struggling. If you're transitioning and struggling, you want to be there. You want to tune in. And the third group are for you, those of you who are already natural, or those of us who are already natural, where you may be struggling a little bit, or you just want to know how to better take care of your hair, or take better care of your hair. And so I'm going to be there for you. All right? So with that, today, we're going to continue our journey on our book, Black Woman's Guide to Beautiful Hair. And if you don't already have your copy, make sure you go to your local bookstore and get it. If you can't find it, email me at lisaakpiri.com, and I'll be happy to get the book for you. Okay, let's see. Let's start. Last time we talked about a woman's story and how this was a true story, and how she had lost a lot of hair because she had problems with her scalp, and it was horrible for her. And it was one of my patients. But today we're going to talk about negative buildup. We're going to talk about flakes, and I talked a little bit about this last visit, but we are continuing our journey in my book under the scalp. And I just want to kind of read to you, and let's go. We're going to talk about negative buildup. And just because you see flakes on your scalp does not mean it's dandruff on your scalp. Many of my patients have come in to my clinic and claiming that they have dandruff. And I must admit, even to most of the trained eye, those flakes could be mistaken as dandruff, or dry scalp for that matter. But in many cases, when an individual was told that they have chronic dandruff problems, it turned out to be a misdiagnosis. Okay, before you say, "Oh wow, how dare you," I'm not saying that there are people out there offering those things intentionally. I think that there's just a disconnect between the trichology field and the dermatology field and the cosmetology field. Trichologists help to bridge the gap. So I think that if you've been to your cosmetologist, Try some things at home, then to your dermatologist, you should think about and consider seeing a trichologist. Okay, the scalp is the foundation, and we've always talked about that, from which that hair grows, and you have to keep that in mind. And sometimes dust, dirt, debris, dead skin cells, and hair products become trapped in the scalp, causing a buildup, or pollutants is what I call it. If the hair and scalp is not shampooed with a clarifying shampoo on a regular basis, as needed is what I say, and I would say anywhere from every 3 days to for sure by 7 days. And the hair products that you use need to be water soluble, then your hair and scalp will develop what I call a negative buildup. Positive buildups we need. That means you're going to put things on your hair and you're going to build that hair up and make it stronger, like your leave-in conditioners. Your oils are going to help to lubricate. Your moisturizers are going to help to hydrate. Those are all positive buildups. Negative buildups, well, let's talk about those. Products that are not water soluble. It develops on the scalp when the product doesn't rinse clean from the hair, or will not shampoo out very easy. And sometimes we can put products on that are supposed to be really good for styling, or even some of those products are supposed to be good to help us with conditioning our hair, but they don't rinse clean from the hair. So we get cosmetic or negative buildups. Some conditioning shampoos are really culprits, and it's those of us who use shampoos. Some of you will use conditioning shampoos, and the reason you use them is because those conditioning shampoos make the hair soft, they detangle. Those all-in-ones, yeah, some of you on the internet have emailed me and said you've kind of gotten away from those, but some people are still using. And in my studying, one of my studies, I found that some women who use those all-in-one conditioning shampoos complain of more flaky scalp and thought it was dandruff. So in addition to using the all-in-one shampoos, they would use the dandruff shampoo. This combination of the all-in-one conditioning shampoo causes flakes, and then the combination of the dandruff shampoo, which caused their scalp to maybe the hair to dry, it left them with a tight, dry, and even flakier scalp than before. Now, why are dandruff shampoos good? Why are they bad? Well, the pros and cons. In other words, dandruff shampoos do great things like offer some anti-itch, even have some antifungal properties, or antibacterial properties. But dandruff shampoos tend to lower the moisture levels in the shaft. So that becomes a problem for women with dry hair. And so that's why you go from one problem to the other. Negative buildups look like dandruff to the naked eye, but when we examine it under the microscope, we can differentiate the negative buildup. Now, once it gets to a certain degree or a certain amount that gets on the scalp, and it mixes with the dead skin cells, it will solidify and is very hard to differentiate. But when it's laying on the hair and it's in this flake mode, then we can differentiate, and it looks like little pieces of trash. In some cases where individuals have piled on grease products to combat their itchy scalp, then the negative buildup can look like little slime. And then also when it does solidify, negative buildup for products, it will look real chalky and it'll kind of glow under the microscope. Now, not like glowing under the light where there may be some other scalp disease there. I'm not speaking of that. I'm talking about like crystallized. Now, this type of buildup can crowd around the pores or our follicular unit and eventually crowd around the mouth of the hair follicle, and this will cause a blockage around the follicle. In many cases, depending on how dense the substance is, the buildup and how the texture in other words, the size, how large the strand is, it can create a blockage. Scalp damage, no matter what level, should always be taken serious. Whether it's low level, high level, when you've got negative buildup, whatever the case is, it should always be taken serious. And many people don't. Low level damage will eventually become high level damage if it's not taken care of. And it will cause problems with how your hair emerges from the mouth of the follicle. Even problems with how it develops if it becomes a high level damage, where you in like second degree skin damage, where you in the dermis, where the hair follicle is, which is where the hair develops. You have to be careful. Remember, your scalp should always look and feel healthy. An itchy scalp is not normal. It's never normal. So never ignore a scalp itch or dry scalp. And I'm reading this because there's certain ways that I word this. I want to express that to you. And it's from my book, and I'm reading from my book. Never ignore a itch or dry scalp because it could be the beginning of a more serious problem. Always do your scalp inspection and listen to what your scalp is telling you, how it feels, how it looks. By doing this, you will preserve your scalp and prevent disorders that may require medical attention at some point. Some of the scalp disorders and diseases that may require medical attention, let's talk about those for just a minute. Although low-level scalp damage can be treated at home, high-level scalp damage must be treated in a salon or by a trichologist, or in severe cases may require medical attention. Some common scalp disorders that will require medical attention are ringworm, scabies, head lice, scalp boils, fungus. There's several. Although these scalp disorders require medical attention, you must have a good hair and scalp care program to offset the side effects caused by medicated shampoos and prescribed treatments. Remember, your hair and scalp are connected, and anything that is used on your scalp must be closely monitored to be sure that it does not dry out your hair and your scalp. In other words, not to solve one problem and create another problem. And that's what happens a lot. This is important warning because many dermatologists have told patients who complain about hair problems after using scalp medications not to worry about their hair until their scalp heals. Now, I work with a wonderful doctor, Dr. Robert Jackson, and he's a dermatologist, and he will not tell anyone that. So there's a lot of great dermatologists out. I've just had many patients to come and tell me that their dermatologist said, hey, don't worry about your hair right now. Let's get your scalp disease under control. Now, this is important because there's a thin line here. We know you want to look a certain way, but if you've got a scalp disease, it could cause more problems within your system. So they're really focused on getting that disease under control. So don't get angry with your dermatologist if they say that to you. You just have to be proactive and make sure that you do things to take care and keep your moisture levels up in your hair shaft, like conditioning, deep conditioning while you're going through that. And make sure you're using a conditioner that rinses clean. And I can help you with that if you need help. Okay, let's move on. And a lot of times when people go to their dermatologist, when patients do that, go to dermatologists, and they hear some things that or use products, use prescriptions that dry their hair out, then a lot of patients will refuse to use these prescribed scalp treatments because they're not willing to sacrifice their hairstyles. Hear that all the time, but like I said, by deep conditioning and doing things to offset that, you'll be fine and your hair should be fine. Okay, let's see. Right, where are we? What should we do? Okay, it says, I'm just trying to see where we can go. Okay, let's talk about just basic caring for your scalp, because I want to just kind of get to that because it's really important. A healthy scalp starts with a clean and hydrated scalp. The basic prerequisite for a healthy scalp is cleanliness. You have to clean your scalp no matter what. You can't clean your scalp with some of the things, apple cider vinegar, clay. You can't clean. You can break down and break up. Remember, you can break it down and break it up with those things natural things we've talked about, but you can't clean. And some of those you have to be careful, because if the pH is too low, then you end up dehydrating. So cleaning is important. A clean scalp resists a variety of disorders. A lot of disorders don't do well in a clean, acidic environment. They need a more alkaline environment on the surface now. Internally, we need a more alkaline environment, but externally, we need a more acidic environment on our scalp and on our hair. And you just do the research and you'll hear more about that. So a clean scalp is also going to free the scalp up from negative buildup, which is important. As you have learned in listening to me, and just research that I'm sure you've done, your scalp and hair pores and follicles can become clogged and damaged. And when that occurs, then you've got problems. It's just vital to keep a clean, acidic, stimulated, hydrated environment in order to have great hair growth, and in order to maintain healthy hair. Because whenever you have a scalp problem, what do? Well, scratching and picking at it. So then we have these little areas where we're beginning to have little short areas in our crown. We're having problems everywhere. So you gotta work at that, guys. You just got to guarantee a healthy scalp, and you will have healthy hair growth. Follow some steps. I'm going to give you some steps which talk about shampooing on an as-needed basis. Start paying attention to your scalp. Give your scalp what it is asking you for. Just like your skin, scalp is a part of your body. Your scalp needs to be cleaned regularly. The scalp and the entire body sheds its dead skin cells, and so after 3 days, your scalp begins to have a buildup. It's continuing to shed dead skin cells. But on your body, you shower, it dissipates, it just kind of brushes off with your clothes, but your hair acts as a trap, and it traps these pollutants on our scalp. Is my throat even, guys? Okay. I'm doing the kind of what y'all call the shrunken throat. It's not quite shampoo, and you see how I got distracted because I looked at my hair. Anyways, that's crazy. But I'm just gonna go with it. It's kind of like, I didn't do the shampoo and go, but I did 3 shampoo and then 3 big twists, and then I let them go, and then I pulled them up into this little scrunchie, which I absolutely love the scrunchie because I'm free. Everything's up in the air and nothing's. So I have to put a lab coat on later. Okay, that's enough for the commercial break. Let's go back to what we were talking about. All right, where were we? Okay, yeah. The other thing we have to think about is sharp objects. A lot of times when we have an itchy scalp, we scratch with objects. We use whatever's available. I'm at my desk now. Okay, I'll just grab a pen. No, you don't want to create those tears. A lot of people shampoo with shampoo brushes. It's wrong. If your scalp is getting shampoo with a brush, it's wrong. Now, guys, listen to me. I know that when we shampoo with a shampoo brush, it is a form of massage, and it kind of feels good, but it's created microscopic tears. That's why it gets tender later. Under the microscope, that cornea layer is non-existent. I mean, you are thin and tender and sensitive. People who get shampooed on a regular basis with those brushes, poking and digging at your scalp. Can't do it, guys. Bad, bad, wrong. Okay, protect your scalp from direct and extended exposed. I'm sure I can do that. See the time. Overexposing to the sun, sunburn on the scalp. We don't think about sunburn. It is important. A lot of times in areas where you have a lot of sun, and as we go into our vacation times, we will begin to get out in that sun. Yeah, we can have sunburn on our scalp. So be careful to protect your scalp from that. people, in cases where the scalp has suffered extreme sunburn, your scalp can develop scar tissue. Anytime you burn the epidermis, you had a first degree, and then you go into a second degree burn, which is where it burned through the epidermis into the dermis, blistered, those kind of things. On your scalp, it can cause scarring, which will block the follicle and destroy the follicle. It really prevents the hair from growing through. And there you will have alopecia. I know this is extreme, but I just want to make you aware. I mean, I just want you to protect your scalp from the sun rays. You should always cover your head. And here's some things that I want you to do. You want to make sure that you cover your head, you hydrate your hair, and then you can even, if you have a complete open area, then you can even put sunblock on your scalp. But the best thing is to cover as well. So put the sunblock and cover. Do not overexpose your scalp. For those of you wearing chemicals out there, never chemically treat your hair when your scalp is damaged. Some people will come right out of braids and go right in and get a retouch. It's bad, wrong, because you will cause, the braids have caused the scalp to be sensitive because it's been pulling, so there's probably some traction there. Our follicles are probably dilated, and so you shouldn't do that. You should never do that. You need to wait. You need to shampoo, condition. You need to get in that dryer with your conditioner. You need to oil your scalp. Even there are things, I have a scalp treatment that's loaded with aloe vera. It's a great product for healing. And do that for a couple of weeks. Then get your relaxer. I know. I'm just telling you guys, you're going to end up with some high-level scalp damage, those of you who are still wearing chemicals. Okay, let's look at some things that you may do. Let's see. Things you may do that damage your scalp. Many negative things can cause problems. Okay, can cause problems. Not shampooing on a regular basis. Lifting the dandruff. Talk about that. Shampooing with those pointed tooth shampoo brushes. Okay, working out and not shampooing. Sweat is important, but if you don't remove it, it's going to dehydrate your scalp. So you have to do that. You have to shampoo with a quick fix. Piling so-called hair growth products into the scalp. That's not good because they're not water soluble and they don't really work. There's nothing you can dump on your head to make your hair grow. Piling so-called hair growth, bonding hair to your scalp. Some of you are still using those bonding creams and you're still touching the scalp. They're pretty much going away, and I'm glad of that. Removing the weave improperly. A lot of people who are transitioning will wear weave. I'm going to talk about some of this on Saturday, but we got to be careful. You cannot do these things, wear weave and then removing that weave and pulling at your scalp. That's wrong, and you just got to be careful. And when you get the weave, sewing the weave too tight, causing traction. That lip of the follicle opens up. It's horrible, and it gets buildup in it. It causes damage. I just did an analysis on a patient who had such a horrible weave job. She said that when she got such a painful one, once she got the weave, she went home and her scalp hurt her so bad that she couldn't function. She had a headache. And I was thinking to myself, you should have taken it out, and I did tell her that, but of course it was over. The damage was done. So I'm going to try to have some of these images at the workshop. And what happened with her, she ended up, she called her stylist, and her stylist said, well, take a couple of BCs and go to bed. And they left it in. And she said it felt better after a while, but then she went back. When she finally took it out, she has scar tissue. I mean, you could see the area right in the lower crown where the weave track was too tight. Because some people braid your hair in a circle and then they leave a little opening and they pull everything really tight to that center. Well, that's what happened with her. and she lost hair. It's horrible. She was in such pain. It's really sad. I never get used to it. No matter how long I've been a trichologist in this business, I never get used to it. The same with the braiding too tight. Digging in the scalp with your fingernails. Gels that cause those buildups on the scalp. Scratching the scalp under different types of hairstyles. Sitting under an overheated dryer too long. I have patients with burns, look like sunburns and skin burns because of sitting under overheated dryers. Using high pH shampoos. Your shampoos have to have a pH within the range of your scalp, 4.5 to 5.5. Again, too much sun. Using hairpins and bobby pins and rubber, bobby pins and different kinds of clips that puncture your scalp. It's really important. Be very scalp conscious. That's what we want. I want you to do, guys. Your elevated subconscious mind, and the way you've elevated your subconscious mind is by education. You've taken all of the negatives, the stuff you whether you realize it or not, you are taking everything that you thought and moving it out, all the negative. And so now you're making available space for the new, for the things that are correct. And so your subconscious mind is being elevated. Isn't that beautiful? And so now you can do what's right because you know what to do, and you just have to decide. At least with the elevated subconscious mind, you'll be aware of it, and you may not get it right the first time, but you will keep trying, and you will eventually get it right because you're educated now. Let's see. So I'm just gonna, I just want to let's see. I think we're going to come to the end. Oh, we're gonna finish this up. Your scalp is the foundation to healthy hair. Just remember that. The next week we're going to talk about hair. We are at the end. We want to not to ignore it. I've done studies on the scalp and skin, and what I realize is that many people treat their scalp as if their hair is just floating above their head. Hair is an appendage of the skin, so be careful, guys. Be careful. With the awareness, this awareness, I'm going to read what I said here. You will always keep in mind, you must always keep in mind that your scalp and your hair are connected, and your hair care program must address both the scalp needs as well as the hair needs. My programs are both hair and scalp friendly. I just want to tell you that. And I'm not really here to sell you my programs. I love you guys. Some of you are doing some great things with some great products out there. You are still my friends. You are still people who I am going to educate, and you're still folks that I feel I need to bless. I just want you to know, if you're struggling and you need some help, you can just go to my website or call or email me, and I'll be more than happy to help you further. Anyways, I'm going to see you guys Saturday, and like I said, if Saturday the 25th has all to 2012 has gone, isn't that wonderful how I can talk to you now and you can look at this and it's like a year later? Oh, I love that. I love the technology God has blessed us with. But anyways, if you've missed the actual live version and you're not able to ask questions, you can still look at this and email me. But if you're here, and this is today's date is the 23rd of February 2012, then on the 25th of February, I will see you there. I am Lisa Ackberry. It'll be 2 o'clock when we meet, and it'll stream live. Just go to my website at lisaackberry.com. But I'm your hair doctor. I love you. To God be the glory in Jesus. You know who I serve. And I'll see you on Saturday, or I'll see you next week when we start talking about your hair. I am so excited to get to that part. Love you guys. See you later. Bye-bye. Have a great morning, evening,